I've covered a lot of studio lights over the past year. Low-powered 80-watt lights to 220 watts. Lights with a color temperature between 2700 degrees and 6800 degrees, or having a fixed high noon of 5600 degrees. Some had special effects, others didn't. So how is the review of the Smallrig RC220B different? Detailed specs coming up, but first I encourage you to subscribe and choose all notifications so you're kept informed on the latest camera gear, news, and rumors. Smallrig's RC220B is like a lot of studio lights I've tested and reviewed on the ordinary Filmmaker. The RC220B is well built with an all-metal exterior that can easily dissipate heat with little noise and an attractive industrial design. It's well ventilated with enough power to keep your subject well lit. It has a maximum power output of 220 watts, delivering 84,500 LUTs. That's right, 84,500 LUTs with the supplied reflector. But you might be asking, Simon, why on earth do you have two of the reflectors up here? Well, I want to let you in on a little bit of behind the scenes. You see, as soon as I had finished unboxing, I dropped it on the reflector, and so it's a little bit dented here, and I was really, really frustrated. I thought, I haven't even fully tested this. I hope I didn't screw anything up, and I didn't. It's just on here because of where I dropped it. This took the full brunt. But thankfully, because I do a lot of testing here, I do have a spare one, which is what I used for the rest of this video. The RC220B has a color range of 2700 to 6500. This range lets us simulate a soft yellow light in the early morning sun, simulate the bright light of the high noon sun, or simulate the bluish light of a cloudy afternoon. The RC220B can reproduce colors at a TLCI of 96+, or 95+ CRI, providing a stable color performance. A TLCI of 96+ means that there's no need for color correction, and a CRI of 95+ ensures that the skin tones will look natural. 96+ TLCI and 95+ CRI are the minimum that I'd expect for professional gear and are more than adequate for ordinary filmmakers. The RC220B has an active cooling system with a low frequency noise of 30 decibels. That's the same audio level of a whisper, or as Smallrig puts it, somewhere between the sound of rustling leaves and a humming fridge. The smartphone app is my preferred way to operate the RC220B. It's my go-to for controlling all gear. Documentation supplied is lacking, so I'll give you a brief overview. Start off by downloading the application SmallGoGo. Unlike other control apps, SmallGoGo does require setting up an account, which is a little bit annoying, and while it doesn't take long, I think it's an unnecessary step that gets in the way of the user experience. Once downloaded, press the reset button on the RC220B until the light shows up as a selectable item. Tap the light, then select CCT for general lighting controls or FX for the lighting effects. For me, this wasn't a trouble-free operation. I did have to remove and add the device a few times as it somehow lost connection and then wouldn't go back. The RC220B comes with 9 effects. Here's a brief look at each one. SmallGoGo allows you to control the color temperature of each effect, the frequency at which it operates, and the brightness to deliver the outcomes we need to match our current environment. Want to tailor the color temperature, frequency, and brightness for a particular effect for future use? Simply save a preset to lock in those settings. All in all, the mobile app extends the RC220B's functionality and does improve the user experience. For the price point and capabilities, the RC220B delivers a lot of power at 220 watts. It's powerful enough for most studio environments, but as with other lights I've reviewed, the light is harsh out of the box, leaving many to question their purchase. But this isn't the fault of the Smallrig RC220B. When we're shooting outside, when we're shooting in bright sunlight at high noon, we get those same harsh shadows, which is why we quite often shoot in the shade or we shoot with a diffuser. This is where the Smallrig DA-R55 softbox comes in. As powerful as the RC220B is, it needs a diffuser to provide a soft, more pleasing look. When Smallrig reached out to me asking if I'd like to do a review of the RC220B, I said yes, but only if they provided a diffuser to go with it. In the past, I've used cheap diffusers I got off Amazon. They worked, but they didn't take full advantage of the engineering that went into the light. Lighting is arguably one of the most important things when shooting video, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this review. Obviously, a camera and lens is very important. Then once you've got that set up, you need to look after your audio, because if people can't hear you, or you don't have good music, or you don't have good sound, a soundtrack, well, they're going to be distracted or turned off. And of course, right after that, I think that lighting is in a very close third, and it's one of the most important things. And a video light diffuser is as important to a light as a lens is to a camera. And sure, it certainly does add cost to your purchase, but it's like buying a Corvette or a Ferrari, a high-performance supercar, and then for tires, just slapping on some used tires that you found at the junkyard. Just doesn't make any sense. I'm so happy with the performance of Smallrig's video light, the RC220B, that I've decided to make it the default light for the ordinary Filmmaker. I'm very impressed with it. It has an awful lot of power, 220 watts. So even if I'm in my upstairs studio where I need at least 200 watts or 150 watts of power based on the lighting situations, 220 watts more than delivers the lighting that I need. It's got plenty of power. And the color temperature range. I love a color temperature range around 2500, so at around 2700 all the way up to 6500, it's got me covered. It gives me that warm yellowish light. It gives me that noonday sun at 5600 degrees. And then of course gives me that bluish light at around 6000 to 6500 degrees. And not only that, it's quiet, 220 watts, and it doesn't produce any more than 30 decibels. And that's pretty quiet. Not only that, not only is it only 30 decibels, but it's not a high-pitched sound that stands out. It's one of those sounds that you can barely hear. It's actually reminiscent. If you remember the reviews of the Mac Studio, it has that fan that's always going, but you can barely hear it. When you first turn it on, you first purchase it, you're going to notice it, but then after that, it just pretty much fades into the background, and that's the fan that we have here. It's got a very industrial design, metal construction, very quiet fan, delivering the power and the light that you need. However, and I think this is very important to make this point again, I highly recommend the diffuser. The RC220B costs $369, and the diffuser is just $99 more. It makes a huge difference in the lighting that you can deliver. It takes away that harshness, gives you more of a soft, diffused look, and it's only $99, bringing the total cost for the RC220B and the light to around $468. I do recommend taking a look at smallrig.com because they actually have more than one softbox. They have the RA-R6090, which is a rectangular softbox. It's around 60 by 90 centimeters. They have the RA-L65, which is a lantern softbox. The RA-R3120, which is a striped softbox of 30 by 120 centimeters. And of course, the RA-D55, which is the parabolic softbox at 55 centimeters. I enjoy doing these reviews, especially when it comes to lighting, audio, cameras, and lenses. There's an awful lot that I get to learn behind the scenes. I get to experience new technology. And if you're watching this video just after it's published, then you're getting all the latest and greatest information. But as I've made this the studio light of default for the ordinary Filmmaker, I'm going to be continuing to use it day after day, week after week, month after month, and who knows, even year after year. So if you've got a question and you're noticing that this video is now 2 weeks, 2 months, or even 2 years old, but you've still got a question, go ahead and post it in the comment section down below and I'll be sure to answer it. If you watch any of my other videos, you'll notice that I continue to answer questions and comments put out in my videos in the comment section several years after they've first been published. But that's all I have to talk to you today about Smallrig's RC220B. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them in the comment section down below. And don't forget to subscribe and choose all notifications. Make sure you choose all notifications so that way you can stay up to date on the latest camera news and rumors. And by choosing all notifications, as soon as I publish a video like this one here, you'll get notified so you can stay up to date on the latest camera news and rumors. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.